Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, I'm actually home today. I'm kind of taking it easy here. Finally broken here the hot weather here in Dallas, and it's it's interesting. The market actually traded up a little bit today. Very, very interesting because it's yesterday it was so far down, and today. Taking a look here at the spider, let's flip it over here for people on TikTok. You can see we got a bounce today, if you can believe it. We came down and then we bounced up today, but we're still below the 400 level. My guess is, and this is just a guess here, that we're going to see probably some more destruction tomorrow. I think it's going to come up to the it's going to come right up here to the 50-day line, and I think we're going to see it move a little bit lower once again. But very weird market. This morning, I was sold out. I sold out of the last I had of Comstock Resources, but so I'm basically down to basically two stocks: Petrobras and BJ's. And for some reason, BJ's did really well today, and I don't know why that was the case. I have no clue, but it moved up. I did buy a little bit more. So currently I am really only in two stocks. As you can see, it moved up very nicely here. BJ's kind of moved up. At least there's a $71 buy point. Now, I did add some here, but I basically pushed my stop loss up. My stop loss right now is at 75 for one half of my position, and then right here at about 68 for my other half of my position. So for some reason, this is performing very well. I have no idea why. They did have some very good earnings, and the earnings were up. So I don't know why retailers are doing well, but they seem to be. So go figure. It's just it's one of those it's one of those crazy things where you just don't know where. But I definitely think it is a dead cat bounce, as Doc is saying. Dead cat bounce on the Dow. Any thoughts on BTU and DVN? Let's look at BTU. Of course, BTU is the big coal stock. That's Peabody. BTU. I'm still really cautious in this market because I don't think we're gonna. I think we're going to take another leg down, unfortunately. Basically, I think what's happening here with BTU is that, we have this reversal line here. I'm going to draw this red reversal line here. And you can see we moved above it. We were basically moved up here, and then we kind of went sideways. And then this is the reversal line here. Boom, it went above that. So it's definitely but it's come down, and now it bounced again. I think we're going to get another bounce right here at about the 50-day line. That's basically here. This is that kind of squiggly red line. But I think we're going to get a bounce here tomorrow on BTU. BTU is a good stock. I mean, the coal sector is doing very well. It's the 7 out of 197 in terms of where it's at. So it's a good stock. But would I buy more here? Probably not, because I think it's reverting, unfortunately, and this is very unfortunate. I think it's reverting to a downward trend. I think we're going to have a downward trend tomorrow. That's my guess, just based on what I'm seeing out there. What I'm seeing out there in the stocks. So it's just again, I'm staying very lightly invested. Again, I'm only right now. Believe it or not, I'm only in two stocks. So let's take a question from TikTok. Let's see. Goldfield Truck Stop. I love that. I'm going to answer this question. BIVI. Let's take a look at BIVI and see kind of what. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that with that symbol, but let's take a look. BIVI and see what's happening with that. Hold on one sec. There we go. It's Bovi. Develops commercial drug therapies. Okay, so it's in a good area. I mean, definitely, like seeing it when it's in. I definitely like, the drug areas have been very strong as of late, but again, tough area to play in. The thing about the drug stocks, especially the ones that don't have any income, they typically are, very, very speculative. And again, this is a penny stock. It's a $3 stock. That's where it closed. Let's see. I don't even know if this has any revenue. Let's take a look. Yeah, see, look at this chart. I just can't really get behind this chart. We have a downward trend. Now we did move higher, but I just wouldn't be in this one. This is pre-revenue, so let's see if we can take a look over here at the revenue numbers. Okay, my setup today is suboptimal. That's for sure, but definitely suboptimal. So as you can see, with all these NAs here, you can probably see this, but all these NAs, this is a money losing stock. The cash flow is down $5.82. I think what you got to do here on this one is to just this one is an avoid, so I would just avoid it. So in my normal stock, in normal buying of things, I would avoid this one. So avoid BioV. A BioV. I just don't think this stock is where you want to be, is where you want to be in the market right now. So that would be my take on BioV. I think you just gotta avoid it. Unfortunately, just avoid that one. It's just too hard to figure out what's going on there. So let's also look for Bomadoc. I love that. DVN. Let's look at DVN and see if there's any love there. I would love it if there was. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, Devon Energy, of course. This is a good one. The where the action has been pretty much has been in the energy stocks for quite a while, for over 6 months. My question is, and I'm going to get shaken out of a lot of these, but this is the weekly chart that we're looking at here. It's a pretty nice upward trend. We came down and we tested, which is good. We have this cup formation. The question is, can we get in? Now, see, I had been trading this one before in this consolidation, but it's gone through this cup, this third consolidation here. And why am I talking about all this? Well, let's see if it's buyable. I'm going to switch over to the daily chart to see if we have a viable situation. Yeah, okay, so it's come down to the 21-day line. If you want to buy a stock anywhere, you want to buy it at that 21-day line, and that's this green line here. So I'm trying to figure out exactly how far off that line it is. Well, it's basically right on it. So you could potentially buy it here. It's got a very strong checklist here. It's 100% checklist for Devon Energy, and this is a good stock. I've traded this one before. The question is this a good entry point? Well, I would say that you could probably enter it here because what's happened is that we've gotten this. Let me just mark this chart up here. We've gotten this little bit of a handle here, and it looks like it may move higher. Now, the thing about the energy stocks, it's kind of been where everybody has been going, and I think where we're going to get support is right about here, right about at this 21-day line. So I definitely think we probably see a bounce here. Here's a little thing, it's a little concerning, but this is because of the handle. 97 relative strength. Now, the reason this is so difficult in a market like this, it's not because Devon is a bad stock. It's a great stock. It's in a great area of the market. The problem is the overall market. The overall market is starting to give us, it's starting to give us issues. I mean, I hate to say it. So let's compare. Here's what I want to do. I want to compare Devon Energy with the Spider ETF that is for the, yeah. So there's Devon Energy. Let's see if I can flip over to that one here. What I'm doing is I'm for everybody on YouTube, I'm moving over to that particular screen. So let's do that. Okay, probably get a little bit better. There we go. All right, so here we go. This is Devon here. Let's compare it against the Spider, which is the ETF that covers the energy sector, and that's the XLE. Now, the XLE is an ETF that's primarily made up of Chevron and Exxon. And as you can see, it's definitely had a better performance than the XLE, but we're in a little bit of a downward trend. So I kind of think that we need to see somewhat of a change there. We need to see kind of we need to see kind of an upward trend happening, and I don't really see that. So let's go back to the entire screen. There we go. And nope, screen 1, screen 2. There we go. All right. So you should be able to see this now. There we go. All right. So with this one, basically, got all these things here. Let's get this out of the way. With Devon, we're in this handling period, this handle, and it looks as if with this handle, it looks like it is going to make a move here. So here's what I would say, Bama. You could start nibbling here, but I would be very careful. I would go in with a very, very light, because of the way this market is trading. I would basically go in with basically only a quarter position. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by the quarter position is that if you have let's say an $8,000 portfolio, you divide it up into 8 pizza slices, and that's one position. So one position is about 12.5% of your portfolio. If you're at 12.5% of your portfolio, then you're going to take a quarter of that. So you're going to only want to come in very, very light on that portfolio, maybe 3.5% to start. So be very, very careful because this market is just unforgiving. I definitely think we're in a dead cat bounce right now. So I'd be super careful. Really, I'd just be super careful all the way around. For Matt, let's go and take a look at DRVN. See if we can get that for him. DRVN, and give you something good. This is okay. Driven Brands. Oh, okay. So automotive paint, not a very exciting area, but definitely a blue dot special here. 92 relative strength. It moved up to the pivot. I don't know. It is in this cup formation, but it's a very, very long cup. Let's go to the weekly chart and see. I just kind of want to do some fundamental research on this one and see kind of, see what's going on there. Let's see if I can take that out. Okay. So on the fundamentals, let's see if I can pull that in. There we go. On the fundamentals, we definitely had a nice sales bump in the last quarter, and our profits are up very nicely. We have lots of funds in here. We have, this is really good. Cash flow is strong. Let's look at the prospects for next year. They're saying for 2022, profits are going to be up 34%. So that's very good. This is a good stock. Again, one of my only here is that it's a retail automotive, which is one of the lowest performing sectors. So I would avoid it. I know I would avoid it just because this particular sector, retail automotive wholesale, is 133 out of 197. So not particularly good. So I would avoid this one. I would just avoid on this one a little bit. So that's my that's my take on it. I would avoid it, even though it has an excellent, it's looking good, it's coming up. I'm just a little bit afraid of sort of where it's at. So I would avoid this one. I'm being very, very picky in this market because we're in a downward trend, and even if you have a super excellent, even if you have just an excellent setup, I think that you got to be super careful in this market. It just is being very, very it's being very difficult. So I would avoid. I would definitely avoid this one right now. All right. So looking at some different techs. Okay. Let me take a question. Oh, let's look at the XLE for Charles. Look at that first. That's a key. That's a key. That's a key one that I look at all the time is the XLE. And the reason I do is because that's essentially the Energy Select Spider. Well, it is the Energy Select Spider. And it is coming off of this 50-day line. Relative strength is 94. And it does look like it is going to probably, it's probably going to handle here. So let's go to the daily chart, see if there's an entry. Yeah, okay. So this is the handle. So that's good. So this is a good place to buy it. What I'd wait to do is if it came up to the 21-day line, that's probably a place that you could buy it. I definitely think this one's going higher. That's my guess. I definitely think this one is going higher. XLE. Now the question is, where's the 21-day line? Let's take a look and see. Well, the 21-day line, we're right at the 21-day line, 79.19. We're a little bit below it. So here's what I would do. I would probably, if this thing moves above about 79.19 and holds, that might be a place to go. But I would be very careful about buying it tomorrow. I suspect that we're going to have a little bit of a downward trend tomorrow. Unfortunately, I just think that we're going to have that. So that's my guess. All right. Do you also play the piano? I wish. No, that's a virtual background. I wish my house was this nice. It kind of looks pretty good, huh? This is a virtual background, so kind of looks strange. But thanks, Bob and Doc. All right, ENPH. Let's take a look at ENPH. And there we go. ENPH. And oh, Mfries. This is a fantastic stock. Boy, look at this. It just look at this one. This one just took off. Lots of buying coming in here. This is in the number one sector right now, which is solar. I don't know if you can buy it. This is extended, unfortunately. I wish you could buy it. I wish I had bought this one. I didn't buy this one. I was being a little bit. I was being a little bit too cautious here, but yeah, this is the. I think it's this all-time high. It's here's about 308. So let's go back to the weekly chart to see. I think this is his all-time high. It's right up here, and so it's making a new all-time high, up 68% in terms of its up 68% in terms of its sales. So very, very good. I wouldn't buy it here though, because unfortunately, right now this stock is it's extended. So so I would not be a buyer here because I think that it's come up to this. It is a little bit extended, but it came out of this cup very nicely. But I think this is a little bit extended. Let me see. We go back to the daily chart to see if indeed that is the case. Yeah, I think this is on this extended, but it is making a new all-time high. So somebody's buying it. There's some big accumulation going on there. So I don't know what's going on there, but definitely big accumulation going on there. All right, let's go and take a question from TikTok. All right, so let's see. Okay, thank you. Any thoughts on BVI? $400 drop. Okay, cool. I'm just looking to see. Hey, thank you very much, everybody. All right, so let's go back to the comments on YouTube. Thank you for taking a look. All right. So Brian is looking for ERVY. Let's take a look at ERVY and see if that makes any sense. Right. No, ERY, excuse me. For some reason I didn't get that in there right. ERY. And there we go. This is the 2x bear energy. I think you can't be bearish on energy. I don't think you can be bearish on energy right now. I don't think you can be bearish on energy. So I would not. I would avoid this one. I definitely am bearish on the overall market, but not on energy. So I'd be really careful here. I would not. I would not buy a bear ETF here. I just wouldn't, Brian. Maybe it'll turn around, but I think the overall market, is not right. So let's compare this. I mean, because instead of just shooting from the hip, let's see if we can take a look at this versus the XLE. And of course, the XLE is my proxy for the energy sector. But you can see that's very divergent. This one, the bear. This is if you look at energy starting a year back, it's just been it's been an upward motion. I mean, the rest of the market hasn't been, but the energy sector has. So the energy sector has definitely. So I would avoid the ER. I would avoid this one. I just would avoid this one because it's not moving in the right direction. Here's what I want to do. I want to take a look really quickly at kind of the overall trend of the market. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over here to the Spider. And what the Spider is it's an ETF that covers the S&P 500. So this is the proxy that I use, generally speaking, for the market these days. I want to kind of look at this versus the XLE. So if we're looking at the market and kind of where it's headed, the Spider has been, as you can see, in this downward trend. All right. Now, in the same period of time, the XLE has been in an upward trend. So for most of the market, it's starting to, it made this little tick up today, but for the most part, the market has been in this downward trend really since November of last year, whereas the energy has been up. So if you're buying anything, there's a few sectors that I like, but of course, energy is one of them, but it's kind of been overplayed. One of the ones that I like, now I don't like all of the things in the sector, is the retail sector, believe it or not. And I own BJ's, and for some reason this is just doing well. As you can see, it's kind of bucking the trend. This is why I've been accumulating BJ's. This is in the retail sector. It just seems to be moving better than the rest of the market. Whereas in the last few weeks, the Spider has been moving down and the XLE has been moving down. For some reason, BJ's has been moving up. So I do not know why that is the case. The question is it extended? I added to my position this morning. It's really the only thing that I have that's really working. And unfortunately, I wouldn't buy it here. For some reason, it's up after hours. I do not know why this is the case. But for some reason, it's up after hours. And you see, it moved up 4% today, and it's up after hours. So something's going on here. I don't know what's going on. I think it might be an acquisition or something. Who knows? But this one it's extended. So I probably, I added right here at about 75, but today, and that's about it. So other than that, I haven't really done anything. So the energy sector, definitely you can look for things there. I'm looking at retail, but not all retail is working out there. That's the problem. Retail just isn't working like it should, but some of it is working. So go figure. All right, so let's take a few last ones, and then we'll probably call it a day. All right, let's see. Okay, good question. Thanks, Charles. Always great to hear from you. SGML. Let's see what that. SGML. And see. Oh, lithium play. I want to take a look at several of these lithium plays here. I want to look at there's a lithium play that I really like. I want to look at this one. Of course, this is Signal Lithium, and this is a Canadian base, and I like the Canadian miners, but the one I really like here isn't necessarily the Canadian miners. Let me see if I can get that so you can see it better. There we go. All right. Not necessarily the Canadian miners, but it's the Chilean miners. SQM is the one I'm interested in, and for some reason, this same kind of thing, but this looks like definitely performing better. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. We look at the weekly chart on this one. Yeah, it's no revenue here. This is what I'm worried about with this one, Charles. I like the fact that it's in lithium. Lithium play is great, but it just doesn't have any earnings, and so I'm a little bit afraid of that. Well, no, it does have some cash. 24 cents a share. That's interesting, but there's no projections on the earnings. This is interesting. I'm not sure. Canadian Lithium Mining with a flagship product listed in no results available. So I can't tell you that one. I'd probably avoid it. The one I'm watching in the lithium space is SQM. That's the Chilean miner. They're one of the biggest lithium producers in the world. They're really, and as you can see, that's been a pretty good one. This is up today, just barely, but it's definitely up. The reason I like this one so much is because of the sales going up 342% and the earnings going up. So this is one I really like. There's strong cash flow here. PE ratio of about 14, so that's pretty good. This is a major company, and it's doing quite well. The symbol on that one is SQM, and that's a Chilean. It's a Chilean miner, so that's one you could possibly look at as well. But I don't think SGML. I think you got to be careful. I just don't see any revenue. I'm a little bit afraid when in commodities. I want to see. With tech or biotech, a growth stock is fine, but when it comes to commodity stock, I want to see earnings. I absolutely want to see earnings. Let's take a look from Mr. G. All right, Zim, the most expensive, and the most expensive stock, Snowflake. I shorted Snowflake, and I've been unsuccessful in that. I had short on Snowflake. I thought it was going to move down, but let's look at Snow. This is one of the most. You're right. This is one of the most expensive startup stocks out there, and it's just been a kind of a weird stock. I mean, this has been just a strange market in general. I mean, we've been pulling down. Definitely took a bounce and it moved up today. They do have earnings though, negative cash flow, but their sales are moving up. I just don't know what to think about this one. I probably would not be a buyer in this market. It's got a downward trend, so I'd be really careful in this market. Now, if we go to the daily chart, we could probably swing trade it. Yeah, not even. It's below the 200-day moving average, so I just think you got to avoid it. If you're gonna play it long, I think you got to avoid it. And I don't really want to short it either. So Snowflake, I think with Snowflake, I would probably be avoiding Snowflake. So I'd avoid Snow here. I don't think it's going to work that well. So that's my take. That's my take on it here. All right, let's see if we have any questions from TikTok. Luna Classic. All right. Tesla, please. It has so many catalysts. Well, but the thing is, here's the thing. It does have a lot of catalysts. I agree with you, and I've traded it before, and I did very well trading it. But the problem is that there is a lot of overhead. There's a lot of overhead supply. So TSLA. Now I'm looking really for it to be basically at about the $300 level before I'm going to get interested in it. But here's the thing. You can see it's come down to the 50-day moving average, but it's still trading below that 200-day moving average. The relative strength is starting to get better. It's 88, so it's in the top 12% of all stocks out there. But here's what I'm worried about. If you can, as you can see, the volume. Here's what I can here's what you can see. The volume has been going down. See that? How the volume is moving down on that. This is a problem. I definitely think that something is going on here, but I don't necessarily think I don't like this chart until we're moving above 300. Here's why. I'm going to draw a line basically at 300. Now, remember, this split 3-for-1, and I was in this right before the split. But remember, when I sold it at before it split, and this is typically what will happen. And I did. I wrote it up from about 850 to 915. Not a tremendous gain. Sold it on the day before the split, and made a little bit of money, just pennies, really, nothing. And then I haven't been in it since. So basically, I think what's going to happen is it's going to come down to the 50-day line. It'll move up, but I'm really not interested until it gets above 300, and because even when it gets above 300, you still have all this overhead supply. And this is the people that bought it much higher. See back here. And what they're going to do is when it comes above 300, they're going to start selling. So there's going to be some resistance right here. Notice how it comes up to here and then it just kind of poops out when it gets to about 314 or so. So I would be out of this for a while. I want to see it hold above 300 before I'm interested in Tesla. So basically, my take on Tesla is see if Tesla can hold above 300, and that's kind of my take on it. Is to see if it can hold above 300. Really, before I'm interested in this, I want to see it hold above 300. So I'm really not interested in Tesla, below that. So that's kind of my that's kind of my take on it. All right. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I really appreciate doing the likes. That really, really helps me so much. Also, if you haven't already joined the Action Trailer, it's super easy to do. If you're on TikTok, just jump up here to the link. Click on the link, and you'll see it. It says first and last name and email address. One more. Let's do Apple because that's so important. Thank you, Mr. Cheap. Apple AAPL. Let's see if it's ready to go. I just don't really have anything for you to buy today. I'm very, very cautious right now in this market. It just it's just seemingly hard to do this market. As you can see with Apple, we're pulling down, and once again, now the Apple 14 is coming out. And I don't think that's going to be a blockbuster product. I don't think that's going to be a blockbuster product. We have this, this downward trend. We're below the 50-day line. I definitely think we'll get a little bit of a bounce here. But here's what's happening with Apple. A lot of the funds that have lost money are selling Apple this year because they have gains in it. So I just I don't think it's the right time right now. When it was moving off of off the bottom of the consolidation there, at about 129, maybe you could have done it, if you saw the bounce there. But it definitely is. It was in this upward trend, but I think it's continued. I think it's now once again in a downward trend. So I'd be very careful here, and I think it's going to move down. It could fall as low as 140. I hope that's not the case. All right. Can you make a video on your Discord? Oh, can you make a video and platform of the advantages and why it should be here? Can you make a video on your Discord group and advantages on why we should be? Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll do that. I'm trying to do some courses as well. I definitely will. I really appreciate that, Charles. I definitely will on why we talk about the great thing about the Discord room is that we really start the beginning of the trading day, and then I basically try to analyze each individual trade real time. So, if you're looking to make a trade, then I try to look at the charts and see if I would be in the trade or not, and just really kind of, and also there's good traders in there. It's just been a really, really rough market. It's been a really, really rough market. But yeah, maybe something to kind of show you kind of what's going on with that. I appreciate that. All right. Well, thank you everybody so very much. I so appreciate it. Thank you for finding me here on YouTube. I really need a more. I really need more people um, to subscribe here. I would really appreciate it. Please like the show. Definitely do that. So please please like us. That would be great. Also, we'll be back tomorrow at 5. Hopefully, I'll be in my office, so it'll be a little bit less chaotic than it's been today. But happy trading, everybody, and stay safe. Here's what I would do. I'm mostly out of the market right now. I wish I could say that I was in the market. I'm only about 10 to 15% invested. I'm waiting. I think we're going to get another leg down. I think you got to be super careful here exposing. I'm mostly in cash. I wish I wasn't, but it's just a reality. I definitely think we're going to get another leg down. September is a traditionally bad month to trade. I think we're gonna pull lower. So I think you got to be very, very careful. Keep your exposure very, very light right now. We're gonna see this is going to turn eventually. Okay, the market is going to turn eventually, but right now we got to be super careful, and we just kind of be very light. We just have to be very lightly exposed to the market. So I hope to see you back here tomorrow at 5. Thank you so much. So appreciate you coming on and asking me questions every day. And we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow.